If a child is the product of a rape, should the rapist have any custody rights to the child? This man thinks so. This is Louisiana Judge Jeffrey Cash, who recently gave a rapist full custody of his 16-year-old daughter. Join us as we examine what happened in this case and why, in the wake of Roe v. Wade potentially being overturned. Is this the new normal? Hey, everybody, and welcome to True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. This is Katie Weaver, and I'm here with my sister, co host, and partner in crime, Kristi Brower. Hello.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
How's it going?
It's going well. It's going very well.
Well,
Um,
good.
I'm just excited. We have some fun plans for this weekend, and it is the weekend, and because that's when we're
Yeah.
recording this, and I'm just excited to go have some fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Me too, for sure. We're going to head to the mountains. Badly needed.
Yeah, I know. I kind of wish we were too, but
I
we're gonna do some
know.
other fun stuff. So
Yeah, good stuff happening. It's feeling like summer and summer fun and summer activities
it
finally
is, and man, I'm
rolling out.
excited. I am
Yeah.
ready.
Me too. Well, this is our Monday episode. Of course, we're recording it on Friday, but it's for a Monday, so we'll call it Monday.
Yes, we will.
We are, we're excited to be here and kick off a whole nother week of, do we call it crime and punishment? Crime and bullshit? Crime and what the hell? All of it.
Yeah,
I think all of it. Yeah.
pretty much all of the above. Yes.
Yes. Well, Kristi, I am going to turn the mic over to you. You're going to kick us off with some WTF news.
Right. WTF. Has true crime taught serial killers nothing? I mean,
Or
really?
everything. I don't know.
Or ever, I don't know. But okay. So this dude, I cannot say his first name. He's from Nigeria. And I'm just going to say his last name, Enwobodo. And I'm going to call him that. He
Okay.
is from Nigeria. He lives in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
And he is currently wanted by the police because he's been charged with murder and tampering with evidence in
Oy.
relation to the disappearance of Felicia Johnson, who
Okay.
unfortunately is a woman he met on Snapchat, unfortunately for
Oh
Felicia.
gosh. Ooh.
So it was some kind of sex work meetup where he was supposed to pay her $500. And, well, he brought a power saw, some towels, and a trash bag.
Oh dear.
Right
Oh
after
God.
met and she
Mm-hmm.
disappeared. Okay. Here's where, if it can get any insaner, it does. And that is that this guy Googled the following phrases: how to be a serial killer, how to get
Oh.
away with murder,
Oh.
bleach, destroy DNA, and most forested part of Houston.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So in May, he was arrested because police found a gun, gloves, a large kitchen knife, and a shovel in his car. That was in May. He was released and, of course, is now on the run. So
Oh, for God's sake.
he basically laid out their entire case for them
Uh-huh.
in his freaking Google searches, including forested areas around Houston.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed that Enwobodo gets caught
Yeah.
quickly and that Felicia Johnson's body is found.
Oh,
But apparently, he's not that smart of a criminal, so I think they're going to find him pretty quick.
I would imagine
But
so.
I've
But
always kind of worried, like, is true crime making serial killer? Because he's suspected as to being a serial killer.
right.
Um,
Or a baby serial killer. Yeah.
yes. And I've always worried, does true crime teach them too much?
Right.
Clearly, no. Clearly, no in this case.
I guess not.
So,
In his or Nancy Brophy's, so there you go.
right, we've seen a few of these lately. So, anyway, I'll update that as it comes along if, when they find him and stuff. But they pretty much have a slam dunk case against him with all the physical evidence and now those really stupid Google searches.
Oh my God. Well, that is something.
Yeah.
That is absolutely something.
It is something all I knew to call it was WTF. So
Yeah,
that's
I,
what it
I
is.
think WTF definitely applies.
Yes, it does. All right, Katie, I'm going to kick it over to you for the main case.
Okay. All right. This case is astonishing, infuriating, has to be heard. Has to be heard. Because we have all these new precedents that are trying to be set, or I don't know if they're new, but precedents, and we need to understand a lot of stuff. But this case really came up for me as something that we needed to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to back up a little bit. So this is Crysta Abelseth.
Okay.
And Crysta was raped when she was 16 years old.
Oh.
When Crysta was 16, she was at a bar restaurant type facility with a friend, with a couple of friends, and the DD friend left and left some girls here that had been drinking and needed a ride home. Well, she happened to meet this guy
Oh boy.
who is 30 years old. And his name is John Barnes. He was 30 at the time. And he offered her a ride home. And she felt safe enough with him and went ahead and took that ride, much to her detriment, because rather than take her home, she alleges that he took her to his home and raped her on the couch in his living room.
Mm.
Well, Crysta was 16 and she was scared and she was out drinking, something she wasn't supposed to be doing,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't know what to do and didn't report the rape. And then, after a time, discovered she was pregnant. Well, she thought because she was 16 and 16-year-olds are still idiots, and don't know, and she was
Mm-hmm.
too afraid to tell anybody. She thought that if you didn't report the rape when it happened, that you couldn't.
Oh.
So I'm assuming she probably got some bad advice from dumb friends because at 16, that's what
Probably
happens.
because kids aren't going to know necessarily.
No, and she was trying to protect herself and
Mm-hmm.
got pregnant and just told people around her it was just took her medicine and gave birth to this child and started raising her at 16.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when she was 22, she ran into this man and he realized that she had a child. And he insisted on a DNA test. So that's when the child was 5. And the DNA test proved that indeed this is his child.
How old was the man
He was 30.
when he assaulted her?
Hmm.
So, I mean, he just proved rape.
Yes.
He just proved statutory rape by proving the parentage of that child.
Yeah. So then in 2015, Crysta filed for she went to a trauma counselor to finally deal with her trauma over the rape.
Mm-hmm.
And the trauma counselor told her that you have 30 years in Louisiana from the time you turn 18 to report a rape. So she did. She went down to the police department and she filed it. And she never heard back. No one contacted her. No one followed up. Not a detective, not a lackey, nothing. No one followed up. In the meantime, John decides he'd like to be a father.
Oh, for God's sake.
So he sues her for 50-50 custody. And he receives it. So she can't get the police to investigate the rape, which is an open and shut case because in Louisiana, anything under 17 is a statutory rape.
Right. And she has his child. I mean, there's no question whatsoever.
So it wouldn't matter if this was a consensual encounter or if it wasn't. It was rape regardless.
Right.
Now she says it was not a consensual encounter and that she's been terrified of this man all of these years. It just doesn't even matter.
No, it doesn't. By law, he
No.
committed rape against her.
And he
Oh,
went ahead and proved it when he demanded a paternity test.
right.
But he's been threatening her that he is well connected and he knows people. And if she doesn't watch her step, he'll just take custody from her entirely. And she was like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Abuse her much.
Well, unfortunately, that's true. He does know people and he is connected. He owns a business that is a marketing firm of some sort.
Hmm.
And that business lists on his website the police department as one of his clients.
Oh,
It's
God.
Gumbo Digital Branding. It's a web company. And he lists the police department as his client and told her, and has told her repeatedly. Now, from 2015 to now, she has had to see his face and let him take her child, even though she knows he's a sex offender,
Right.
by law. And they've had multiple skirmishes in court, and it's been ugly. I can only imagine how excruciating this entire thing has been for her
Hmm.
and her child. My God, this poor
Right.
kid having to go with her rapist of a father to spend time with him. So 2022 rolls around, and at 16, she bought their daughter a cell phone. She bought her daughter a cell phone,
Hmm.
which at 16, everyone has a cell
It
phone.
would be weird if she didn't have one.
Well, that was enough for old John to decide that she wasn't fit to have custody of this child anymore.
What?
So he took her back to court and sued her for full custody and got it.
Oh, my God.
So she has now had to turn this girl over to him completely and is being ordered to pay him child support.
Did he ever pay her child support?
Unclear. Unclear. I have been unable to find anything that says that he did. I'm going to bet you dollars to donuts he didn't. But
My
now, suddenly, for the
God.
next 2 years until she turns 18, she's expected to pay child support to her
To her
rapist.
rapist. My God. Can this be appealed?
Yes. And they're working on it. She's remarried.
Who
She
is
has,
this judge?
I'll
Holy
tell you,
shit.
I'm going to tell you about him. But she is remarried, has a child, has a good, stable life. Like, there's no reason why she shouldn't have custody of her child at all.
Hmm.
But my God, how dare she give her daughter a cell
But
phone?
how could they award her? Something is so dirty here because
Hmm.
giving your 16-year-old child a cell phone is not a reason to be deemed unfit. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is going
Yeah.
on?
She has been screaming to high heaven for help and support and for someone to listen to her because clearly we have a dirty police department
Right.
as well as maybe a dirty judge and a really effed up situation. So she has gotten some help. She has a couple of organizations that have stepped in to help her.
Good.
The who have finally forced some things to happen. So it's just so astonishing. The police department has now finally said, because this finally hit the media, it actually hit the international media first.
Really?
And the international community got up in arms about it. And so finally, local media and other media sources started picking it up. So the sheriff has finally said, we messed up. So yeah, we messed up. We dropped the ball. Gosh, guys, we dropped the ball.
Oh, fuck directly off with that.
Here's the
Holy
statement
hell.
from the sheriff. I think it's worth hearing because the amount of bullshit and gaslighting here is pretty rich. So, Sheriff Daniel Edwards reports that as of June 15th, 2022, the case involving allegations against 46-year-old John Barnes, which has gained widespread media attention, thank God, has been turned over to the district attorney's office. The decision was made after the investigation revealed many layers and complexities surrounding the case, including statutory violations that were in effect during the 2005 timeframe of when the incident occurred. Due to the sensitive nature of cases involving sexual assault victims and juveniles, the sheriff's office, along with other law enforcement agencies, does not have the luxury of releasing detailed information to the public.
Yeah, well, you would have to have done fuck anything
Yeah.
to even have details to release. My
In a
God.
statement released yesterday, 21st Judicial Family Court Judge Jeff Cash signed a reasons for judgment, which allows court documents related to this case to be made available to the public through the court clerk's office. In tracing this case back to the time the initial complaint was filed on June 1st or July 1st, 2015, it was discovered that the report never made it through the proper channels within the department to be assigned for investigation. Weird. I wonder who did that.
I'm sure it was just a total accident.
Oh, well,
Give me a
therefore,
break.
our department absolutely dropped the ball. And we simply must own our mistake. Sorry, guys.
We screwed up.
This
No
is a
big deal.
mistake.
We're just destroying lives right and left.
Well, and this statement here. This is a mistake, however, that simply has never been a problem before or since. And we must make sure to keep it that way. Sheriff, that tells you that somebody did this on purpose, stupid, or you
Right.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, or we do this shit all the time and we just got
Mhm.
busted this time because that's much
Yeah.
more likely to be true.
So we're here to assure you this has never happened again. And it never happened before this. Never, 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 never. Sure. This is why women don't report their rapes.
Right?
The sheriff's office has reviewed and identified the breakdown in operations relating to the initial complaint filed by the complainant. Since that time, enhancements to department procedures have been implemented and measures put in place to ensure reports from the public never go overlooked or mishandled, especially those cases alleging criminal acts against our youth, says Edwards. The sheriff's office is dedicated to protecting children and will do everything possible to protect the youth of our community from abuse and neglect. How about rape? How
Yeah, how
about
about
rape?
that? How about fuck all that and your ass not covered?
Mm-hmm. Additionally, it's important to note that the complainant did not follow up on this matter until April of 2022. Oh, it's her fault.
Oh, it's her fault.
It's her
She
fault.
reports a rape and the police never get back to her and treat her like she's invisible and they don't give a shit. And that's her fault.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck all the way off with this. Oh my God.
That's also just their word. And do
Right.
we believe their word? Why the hell would we?
Right. Why? Absolutely no reason to believe them.
Upon receiving notice, a team of investigators were assigned to and worked diligently to delve deep into the facts surrounding this case. You mean the fact that she was 16 and he was 30?
Yeah.
That's the only
Like,
fact you
why don't
need.
you just look at their driver's licenses and that kid's birth certificate? Boom, guilty.
Due to the complex nature of their findings. I don't find this all
Complex.
complex, bro.
No, not at all.
The case was turned over to the district attorney's office to decide if charges should be filed.
For God's sake.
Yep.
So when were those turned over?
Like yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we need to
Well,
be
like
keeping a
on June
close eye.
15th. On June 15th. Yeah, it
Okay.
just happened.
So we'd be keeping a close eye on that district attorney's office because they better not fuck this up too.
Right.
That poor girl. My God. And in the meantime, she's living with her mother's rapist.
Mhm.
who was so mad about her having a cell phone at 16 that
Yeah.
he sued her mother for custody. Can you imagine
I'm
what
just
he is
sure she's
like?
safe. Yeah, I'm just sure
Oh
she's
my
safe. I
god.
mean, gosh, why wouldn't she be? She's obviously not allowed to have a cell phone.
Right.
So she probably can't contact her mother or anyone else if she needs
Right.
it. Now, what was the whole story about the cell phone? We don't know because this is family court and it is closed and we don't have those documents and we won't have those documents. But honestly, at this point, does it even matter?
No, it doesn't.
So it raises the bigger question with the possibility of Roe versus Wade being overturned and the privacy of women just going completely out the window in every way. Are we just going to see more of this? Are men going to be allowed to sexually assault women and then them or their families be allowed to sue for custody of the children that they create?
No,
Is this the norm? Is this going to be okay here in the United States of America? That's the question.
no. We cannot tolerate this. Absolutely not.
So the judge, I'll tell you a little bit about the judge, Judge Jeffrey Cash. He has been a judge for about 7 years, and he is loudly pro life and has been seen attending pro life rallies and apparently thinks this shit is just straight up okay.
Yeah, not real pro-life for the 16-year-old child, however.
Hmm. Yeah.
Either 16-year-old child involved in this.
Yep.
My
Yep.
god.
Yep. It's so beyond disgusting. He shouldn't be a judge anymore.
No.
But luckily now, because of some press making some noise, finally, the rape is going to be investigated. I am holding a lot of faith in the prosecutor's office that they do charge him because they really don't have a choice at this point.
How could they not? What could they possibly say was their reasoning for not? I mean, just their ages alone. That's all it takes.
Yeah, yeah. Anyone who wants to argue that this was like consensual, well, it wasn't.
Legally couldn't be.
Hmm. Legally couldn't be.
She doesn't even have to prove that she was raped.
Mm-mm.
She has proof she had sex with a 30-year-old man when she was 16. I mean, she doesn't even
It
and I
also
don't
does.
mean to invalidate her, but she doesn't even have to prove that.
No, she doesn't. It also doesn't matter how long it took her to report the rape.
Nope.
It does not matter that she did that when the custody issue was raised. None of that matters.
No.
None of it.
No, it doesn't. This man has no right to this child whatsoever and should be in prison.
Well, he shouldn't have any right to this child and he should be in prison. And here's the thing. This is a kind of precedent setting case.
Yes, it is.
So we have to pay attention to stuff like this. We have to know what's happening and we have to be able to A, support victims and B, put pressure where pressure is due.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put a link in this chat or in this show file to information about the judge and a way to contact him if you'd like to send him an email and let him know what you think of all of this. You are more than welcome also to reach out to the prosecutor's office. The information will also be in the show file to urge them to bring charges and to help bring some kind of emergency relief to this situation
Yeah.
because it is desperately needed right now.
Yeah. Like this child should be returned to her mother immediately until this is figured out.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have to wait for this guy to be tried and all that shit. No.
No, no. So that's it. That's what we know. There is also a couple of funds for Crystal to help her with her legal fees because you can imagine, this is costing her a fortune.
Yeah.
So Save Life 35 is collecting donations for her, and I will put a link in the show description for that as well. So if you want to take action on this case, there's several ways to do it, and if nothing else, keep this one on your radar and pay attention to it. We have to stay on top of this shit.
Absolutely.
This is terrifying,
It is.
terrifying for women and children.
And children. My God. Ugh.
Yet another giant step back.
Yeah. We cannot tolerate this. And if you live in this community, dude, get on the phone.
Mm-hmm. Get loud. It's going to take that. It's going to take completely humiliating
If you're a voter that votes in judges and prosecutors in this in this county, yeah, please use that leverage.
Absolutely. Yep. All righty. Well, there you have it. I'm going to kick the mic back over to you for a true crime update.
Yes. So we do have a little bit of good news. And I always like to share good news in the true crime world. So just a couple of, well, not a couple of days ago, in April, a man named Shareem Hall has pled guilty to second-degree murder in the 2016 shooter of Dee Dee Dodds. Let me show you Dee Dee. Dee Dee is a trans woman who was murdered during a robbery. And why is her picture not in here? Uh-oh. Hang on a second. I'm going to find you a picture of Dee Dee. Oh, it's right here. Hell. This is Dee Dee.
Oh.
And Dee Dee was murdered during a robbery in 2016. There were 3 men involved, and no, 2 men. Oh, it was 2 brothers. Yeah. They had kind of been on a spree, unfortunately, of robbing people. And in this case, they did shoot and kill Dee Dee. So Shareem, who is now 28, and his younger brother, Saheem Hall, have both pled guilty to second-degree murder in her death. So there was a mistrial in this case. That there was a deadlocked jury. There are 2 other men besides these brothers, and they agreed to plea deals, and they have been given 8-year prison terms.
Oh.
Doesn't seem like nearly enough.
No.
The Hall brothers are not likely to get much more, unfortunately. But at least this is over. This has been going on for Dee Dee's family for 6 years, and it's just a lot.
Yeah.
The judge said, "I'm willing to give you some break because I think you were of assistance to the government. But the shooting death of Ms. Dodds was one of the most senseless acts I've unfortunately been exposed to."
Wow.
Yeah. So the Hall brothers and their 2 accomplices, who are Jolanta Little and Monty Johnson, were basically prowling around in D.C. 3 of them were armed with guns. They were in a car. This was on July 4th of 2016, and they were looking for people to rob. They robbed 7 people that night. When they tried to rob Dee Dee, she fought back. And when they pointed a gun at her, she tried to grab the pistol and was shot and killed.
Oh.
So it's a terrible loss. And, you know, the murders of trans individuals often don't get the kind of attention that they should get and don't get convictions. And so the fact that Dee Dee's murder actually all 4 men involved will be convicted and or have been convicted, and the other 2 are about to be sentenced. It's something.
Yeah.
It's sad as hell.
Yeah, it is.
Just be driving around looking for people to rob and then just kill one of them. I mean, what kind of senseless bullshit is that? But I do think it's good news in the sense that the courts did follow through on this one. And they did,
we
in fact,
shouldn't
get
have to be surprised about and celebrate, except for that trans Black women are one of the most vulnerable populations in this country.
Yeah, they surely are.
Their murders constantly go
unsolved, uncared about at all.
Yeah.
And so it is, I think, a positive to see all 4 men go to prison.
Definitely.
For what they did. It's something. So I did count it in the good news bucket.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you have it. This has been our Monday case. We're going to be back on Tuesday with a new episode. We'll be back on Wednesday with a new episode. We'll be back Wednesday night with case updates, Thursday night with the psychic hour, but also Tuesday night is.
Oh,
We'll let you know.
yeah.
Sometime this week.
Sometime this coming week. We need to move the day because
Okay.
I'm now a planning and zoning commissioner. And
Right.
sometimes the third Tuesday has a meeting, and this month it does.
Okay.
So I keep forgetting to say to you when we're not recording a show, hey, we need to move the day on that. So
Okay. We'll
we'll let
let
you
you
know.
know. But of course, that's for our subscription service, which is our cold read party. So we'll let you know when the cold read party is going to be as soon as we know, so that you can plan on that. So that's what's up. All righty, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Do something good for yourself today. You deserve it. This has
Mhm.
been yet another production of True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. Take care.
Bye, everybody.